2025 is the year of bucket lists. This year, I decided, hey, let's try something new, something I've never really done before. Competitive Pokemon. But there's a few issues we have to address. For one, I am not a competitive player, at least not in the sense of these types of games. Now sure, I, like most of you who probably are watching this video, have played Pokemon since I was a kid. And yes, I still have all my games, which, honestly, I'm probably gonna have to play a lot of them, ain't I? The second issue is I am very monkey. And I mean monkey to the max. I do not really have a good brain. I don't really think, I just do. The good part is I am not new to the harder mechanics of Pokemon. I do understand independent variables and dependent variable. Wait, is that right? I got that wrong. I know EVs and IVs. I know so much, and yet I've never actually competitively battled. But I don't want to bore you with exposition, so let's take it back to a time that we called Regulation H. I could not have asked for a better format to start in. First of all, Regulation H is an interesting format because they do not allow restricted Pokemons. This means we will not be seeing some overpowered monsters, aka legendaries, coming out and whooping my ass. Secondly, they also did not allow for the Paradox Pokemon to come out, which is great because at this point, I don't know why I didn't finish Pokemon Violet, but I was missing quite a bit of Pokemon and all the legendaries. And if you didn't know, to get all the legendaries, sometimes you need to go back to the past, literally, and go play some of the older games in order to transfer things up. Let's just say I beat 4 other Pokemon games since this video. So now that you know what's banned, it's time for me to choose my 2 favorite Pokemon, Urshifu Rapid Strikes and Ogerpon. Wait, what? They're also illegal? What the f? So yeah, my hopes and dreams came crashing down, but that's okay. Turns out they were probably not the greatest thing to have, or else the game would have still been kind of rough. So it was time to team build. Okay, I gotta start off by saying thank you so much, James. Literally watched all his videos. Same thing with Cybertron Zang and Wolfie. I really needed to master stuff and they helped out a lot. And you know what? I'll even throw Clover Bells in there. Loved all your guys' videos. Helped me with this thing. Cool, now with their nutsacks out of my mouth, I can finally begin. I started on Pokemon Showdown. It's the easiest way to, honestly, test out Pokemon. Because A, you can grab any Pokemon you want, choose the format that you want to play in, and update their stats however you want, perfectly made for the competitive player. Unfortunately, I had no clue what the hell I was doing. After a long, hard, and arduous, I don't know, I got shit for saying that once in a Valheim video. I finally decided on a team. The team would be a Sand Team. Honestly, Tyranitar, most badass Pokemon out there. If this Godzilla started wrecking up my town, I'd join it. Ignore my war crimes. My initial team began with Lycanroc, Tyranitar, Incineroar, Corviknight, Sinistcha, and Indeedee. Yep, I thought it was pretty good. So then we go for a knockout on whatever comes in for Palafin.
I mean, you could.
What the fuck? He just surfed? Oh, he's going for a Colossal Sweep?
Ooh.
What kind? This is what I mean. What kind of stupid shit is this? Oh my god!
I told you, you need a fucking, you need that boy that I told you to get.
Bruh. You heard it from the man himself. Oh wait, you actually have not been introduced to him. Well, that was T-Rex. That's right, my brother. He came back after Warframe. I had to call upon his help. I really didn't want to, but this guy, he actually played Pokemon, and I mean competitively. Pretty damn well. Maybe not in tournaments and shit, but hey, he did better than me, so what can I say? So I had him coach me. I had him help me build a team, and bit by bit, we started making some progress.
Oh, T-Tar?
Yeah.
Or you could go no, Corviknight's gonna get annihilated.
Let me see if this works. Okay, well, they are still going to do that play, but this is
They're
good.
Gonna do Prankster, so
I fake out Typhlosion.
There's a Psychic Surge. Typhlosion's Ghost. Typhlosion's Ghost. You fucking clown. Don't forget that Typhlosion's Hisuian one. It's Ghost.
Yeah.
You fucking buffoon. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you. I can fake out Whimsicott.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because...
I think T-Tar would be the better move. Get some sand stream up.
What the what? Oh my god, did I fuck myself with my own
I told you the
thing?
psychic surge. I told you.
Oh my god, I should just killed it.
See, this is on you. This is on
That
you.
was on me, I'm not even gonna lie. There were some things I learned from my brother. For one, I can't just jump into this game and say screw it and throw a whole bunch of points into my EVs and think it's gonna work. It's a better option to just go with what people have been using and then slowly understanding why. The second was teams take a long time. When I tell you, we spent about 4 hours of our day just planning on a team. And by the way, this is not for the national championships, this is not for worlds, this is just to do normal ladder ranking. But by the shrimp gods, we have been blessed. The team we settled with was Tyranitar, Corviknight, Excadrill, Primarina, Archulodon, and my favorite little guy, Rotom, the Easy Bake Oven. Then we became pro. Easy as that, right? No! This shit was terrible. I had to actually go get all of these mons in the actual game, not including having to EV train them, buying all the correct items for them, making sure their IVs are perfect, and well, there's no better way to put this. Not messing up my spread by overkilling 1 or 2 Pokemon. I may have been over my head a little bit. I thought this would be easier said than done, but once it was done, let's just say it started turning fun. Sorry, I have to stop you right there. I gotta get my drip up, because I am not about to be fighting looking like this. Now there wasn't many choices for me, so this is the best I got. Either ways, you gotta make sure you fit the part before you battle. I must admit, I was rather nervous for the first ever battle. This was no longer just practice. This was my name out there, my livelihood. I take this serious, and I will not lose to no trash. Even though I am kinda bad, but you know, you get it. And with that, the first battle commences. I started off with my Corviknight and my Tyranitar. My opponent said, fuck it, let's send out Raichu and a Garchomp. Wait, what? I didn't know really what they were planning on doing, so I said, hey, let's just go ahead and Tailwind. Might as well set up our speed. I turned my Godzilla into a ghost. Now, there wasn't really any rhyme or reason towards what I was doing, but you know what? Screw it. Raichu decided to slap the dome of my poor Corviknight. But my Corviknight said, joke's on you, I have steel wires surrounded my head. Either way, Raichu gave my poor Corviknight a concussion. Garchomp was a little pissy and decided, hey, I don't like you hurting my friends, so he threw a tantrum on my Tyranitar. Fortunately for me, he's thick, he's strong, and he can tank it. And Tyranitar does not like being hit. And so, he slapped the living shit out this Raichu. With Raichu sleeping in the dirt, they sent out a new Pokemon, Latrell! Turns out Latrell is actually really fast, and my opponent decided to terrestrialize into ground. Oh, wait a minute, what's about to... Ooh. Yeah, I got hit with the discharge. Garchomp decided to take out my poor T-Tar. That's okay, because we set up Tailwind. I must admit, I am not too sure what I was thinking here. I send out my Excadrill, my drill baby drill, and I wanted to Iron Head the Garchomp. Well, in order to get some chip damage and potentially flinch it. Somehow, well, not really too difficult to figure out, he protected. Shit. Latrell decides to throw out another discharge. Luckily Excadrill isn't affected, but Corviknight goes down. Now, it's a 2v3. For my first match, it's looking kind of dicey. I only have one more friend in the back, and hopefully he can clutch up. I must admit, I don't think I wanted to go passive here. I needed a home run, and that was by going offensive. So I said, screw it, let's go ahead and shoot an electro shot into Latrell and an Iron Head into the Garchomp, knowing that he already protected. My opponent withdrew Garchomp and threw out an Indeedee. Why? I can't tell you, but it did get smacked pretty hard and it went all the way down to 1 HP. Archulodon finished the job. With Latrell out the way, I forgot there was something up that no one would have really thought of, right? Yeah, my Sandstorm's still there, and it smacked the hell out of this Indeedee. Let's go, a 2-for-1. So it turns out that Garchomp has Life Orb, and when it went for an Earthquake, it absolutely nuked the shit out of my poor Archulodon. Luckily, Excadrill was still in the game, and with Focus Sash, we had one shot. I used Iron Head. Why? I can't tell you why, I'll be honest with you. But you know what? It did the job, and we got our first win of Regulation H. That's how my adventure started in Pokemon, and honestly, after that win, it became rather addicting. I was way less scared in taking battles, and yeah, I did lose a couple. There was no way I was going to win all of them, but I did manage to rack up a decent amount of wins. Slowly, I was climbing the ranks and was becoming more and more confident in my team. I have to give credit to all Pokemon players. I vastly underestimated just how complex this game can be. Look, people like my brother, they get it. It makes sense to them. For me, not really. I just was so frustrated in how I was performing. It felt like every time I learned something, someone sent me a curveball and completely made me look like a noob. There was no perfect strategy, just strategies that might give you a better chance. Pokemon truly values those who learn. And when you get frustrated, man, it's probably better to put it down, because I've had moments where I just started to give up. And not in the sense that I would give up the game, but more like I would just click buttons in hopes that things work out without really thinking of the next possible steps. And my brother did mention something to me. He said, hey man, this game should be fun. At the end of the day, even though it is competitive, I was starting to get more angry than I was having fun. And so I had to take a step back. And with that solid piece of advice, we started climbing the ranks. From Premier Ball to Pokeball, Great Ball, Ultra Ball, and last but not least, Master Ball. I know, for a first time player, not too bad. So here is the unedited clip of when I reached Master Ball rank. I lied, it is edited, but I made sure it was a little bit more fun to watch. You're welcome. Holy balls, I can't believe I'm here, dude. You know how long this took to get? Oh my god, I'm so close to it. Alright, just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Just one more win. Just one more. Okay, for some reason I recorded with no headphones on, so you could hear everything in the background. So I'm just gonna narrate it, but we're still gonna have actual sounds playing. Yay! If you can't already tell, I did change the team significantly. We now have a Goldango as well, which took forever to farm, but I'm gonna be honest, little guy is kind of cool. Alright, so we started off with Primarina and Salamence. Luckily I have this shiny Tyranitar and Latrell. Honestly, this is why I love Latrell. Intimidate actually backfires on them, and even though it does hurt my Tyranitar a bit with the damage cut, it still is a monster. I'm a crazy boy. Rewatching the footage, I don't know why my Tyranitar stayed out against the Primarina, but you know what? We clicked that Rock Slide and set up a Tailwind, and it worked out in the end because they did switch out that Primarina for a Rillaboom, and then the Draco Meteor, well, that missed. I know that motherfucker mad as hell. I mean, just look at that damage. So to get rid of grassy terrain, I did switch out my Tyranitar for the Indeedee. Latrell was tired of Salamence and decided to go with the Brrrah. With Salamence being in the graveyard now, the monkey got a free hit off on my Indeedee, and it did hurt, but you know what? Homie's kind of chilling. So Sneasler was a straight menace in this regulation. I mean, the guy was literally Urshifu, but for regulation G. To make matters worse, Latrell decided, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and miss. Luckily, that Indeedee has that mind over matter shit going on. Sneasler wasn't willing to die just yet. It has that towel waving around, and it did Dire Claw onto my poor Latrell, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm surprised that motherfucker lasted. Yeah, the homeboy Indeedee was not surviving this Grassy Glide. Homie is out for the count. I swear, in this regulation, people like really underestimated the damn Sandstorm, because that shit was wrecking through anybody who had Sash and was not immune to Sandstorm. Yep, we picked up that cheeky little kill right there. At this point, there wasn't much that my opponent could do. They no longer had Grassy Glide, and with Primarina coming out, it wasn't going to threaten anybody. I did stunt on them a little bit. I threw out my Golden Nugget, and that boy got money. Latrell was a little too strong, and they did not deal with him early on, so with that special damage boost, yeah, he kind of just clapped that Primarina. And little J Trump over here, he shot off a couple coins at the peasants, and that's it, we won. It was a bit surreal, to be honest, and I do remember I did this at like 1 a.m. I was not going to go to sleep, and I had to work the next day, but Master Ball rank was at my grasp, and I had to do it. I know, it's crazy. I actually top cut into the number 663. It was insane, and I never felt more proud. Until I got absolutely beat, like the red-headed stepchild of my unfavored mother. It was a humbling experience, and it really went on to show that you were not the biggest fish in a small pond. Of course, it still motivated me to play, but after I reached Master Rank, it was time for me to wait for the newest regulation, Regulation G. I'm gonna be honest with you, this went worse than I had expected, and I got demolished in every which way. But hopefully one day, my happy Pagos team will work. My little turtle is my friend, and we won't give up. But but that's a tale for another time. With that, we're coming to an end. If you want to play competitive Pokemon, you do have to learn along the way, and it won't be pleasant. You will likely lose more than you win, you will feel frustration, but over time it becomes a little bit easier, and you do improve, even if it's a tiny amount. Hopefully one day I'll stand next to some of the greatest players. But until then, we have more training to do. Now if you want to collab, hit me up. Till next time, Johnny Shrimp is out.
There's no way! I should have terraplaned. Who done that? Oh, just unbelievable, dude. Why do you guys play the way you play? It doesn't make any fucking sense. That's GG's.
Alright, I said I was gonna do one more, we do only one more. My head hurts.